soon as you come on this show. Soon as you hit the note.
Hey, what up, y'all? What up, y'all? It's a girl AM here with another great episode. And I don't know about y'all, but I love my theme song, man. Y'all can see me in the background.
I love it. I was like, what?
Yes, it gets me happy every time for the show. But today's topic, y'all, we have another great show. The topic is Big Girl Pants On, and I am so happy to have Dawn discuss this with me. And I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory on Dawn, a little bio. Dawn is born and raised in Bronx, New York, and y'all gonna hear this accent. And if y'all haven't, it's called a little bit of it. You're gonna catch it in a second. But he's a great poet out here in the Dallas area. He's a nationally ranked poet with a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's degree at Syracuse University in public relations. So the boy is educated, some of y'all might say. His writing is centered around the Black queer experience. I love that, since my life is also around the Black queer experience. Using his life as a skeleton for majority of poems that he creates. As a creative, he is constantly developing spaces for people in his community to thrive, as well as using his degree in social media to manage Black-owned businesses. Okay. And then and one of Dawn wants everyone to know to put your big girl pants on when life gives you difficult things to deal with.
Child, you gotta put some damn pants on, honey.
Yes, and that's what we're here to talk about. I mean, we're talking about you, of course, getting to know Dawn, because Dawn is I mean, if you haven't had a moment to just sit and talk to Dawn, you're missing out, people. Missing out. But since you're here, Dawn, thank you. I want to thank you for being here. But you're from New York. How was it growing up in New York?
So it's so weird. I think the real question is how it is growing up down here, because we have like train. I mean, that sounds so stupid because y'all got trains, but we have like, a lot of people don't drive. So I didn't start driving until I moved down here. So it's like trains, buses, and schools give out free Metro cards. So you can really travel wherever you want at like 10 years old. So I was out exploring the city, going places I had no business going, child. I was 10 years old. It was an experience.
It sounds like an experience. So I know about driving. I know that no one drives. What's the point? Everyone takes public transit, but like they give out Metro cards. 10-year-olds.
I wish. Go back. Like I wish in middle school kids used to be so mad because I used to live down the block. But they would still give me a free one. And I would get like in a week, you get 8 trips because it's like Monday through Friday. One to go, one come back. So I said 8. It's like 8, 10. But that's like free. You could go wherever you want as long as you go during the weekdays. And then in high school, they give you like 20 because now it's like a green card. It's like green and orange. And when I tell you if there's anything a New Yorker misses more, it's free fucking.
I mean, you mentioned that there is a train. I'm not gonna lie. I love the train going down to Deep Ellum during the day.
Really?
Because it's the easiest way to get there. You don't have to worry about parking. You can just get off there and then get on. Also to the fair. The train's the best thing to go to the fair. I always take the train to the fair because I refuse to deal with parking the kids and everything else and down there. But it isn't that expensive. I mean, I've never had that, but I can imagine. So you never drove? Like, did you have a driver's license in New York?
So I'm chaotic. So I was moving down here. I came down 2 years ago in November. I was like, I really like it. I want to change the pace. I'm moving. So I knew somebody that was already moving down here at the same time I wanted to. So I was like, we'll just move together and figure it out. So I was like, I need my license. I said, I need my license.
Yeah, coming down.
So I already had my permit because I had it a while ago. And I was rushing through the classes to take learn how to drive. I didn't know if I was going to pass. And the driving schools in New York, you set it up and they'll take you and you use their car. But it was after I bought my flight, so I was like, I really need a fucking pass. So I got my friend to give me his car, took me to the place. I was in the car praying because I was leaving 2 days before. I was like, I need my license.
Need the driver's.
I was praying to God. When I tell you I passed with flying colors, I said, ain't nobody could do me like God.
Not gonna lie. But how is it driving here in Texas?
Now you know how it is driving in Texas. People say New York City is bad, and it is, but Dallas people and Texas people don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
They don't. And the other thing is, I'm from Mississippi, and my mom, the first thing she told me with driving is you have to drive for yourself and other people. And that's how I drive. I drive defensively, but I definitely make sure that everyone around me has room.
It is so scary. It's either an accident. If you're late to work, it's because of an accident. Don't even worry about it. Just let your boss know. And I follow Dallas TV News.
Of course. The Instagram. Everybody does. You have to, because if you don't follow them, how are you going to know what highway to avoid?
It's always
what high-speed chase is going on.
What
high-speed chase is going on. What drug bust. What car is on fire? There be cars on fire on the
every day. A car is on fire.
Like, what kind of car do you have?
I know New York City is y'all.
No, New York City is crazy. But when it comes to like going from New York to Dallas, but you were already doing poetry before. Right. How did that become like a passionate outlet for you? Like when was that, like when you realized that was what you wanted to do?
So I started doing poetry about 5 to 6 years ago when I was getting my bachelor's degree. And it was just like writing a book, very like writing Beyonce quotes, Kalani stuff, very that. And then I started wanting to write my own stuff, like really baby poetry. And then I started growing. And Elizabeth Acevedo, she is a Bronx poet, really famous, head of the game. She's boss. Gets the big bucks. Met her, and she really inspired me to really want to push. So when I started getting my master's later on, I found a poetry program, and I manifested. I was like, we're going to take it seriously. And weirdly, ironically, COVID happened. So now we're all online, and I'm meeting all these poets. I'm learning how to write better. I'm networking. I'm getting gigs online, child. So it's like, I really felt like everybody in the signs was really leading to me like, this is what you really need to be doing.
You had a virtual event?
I have had a couple of virtual events in COVID. A lot.
Oh, that is cool. So like, was it set up like a Zoom or?
No, Instagram. Very much Instagram live. And, they'll do like open mic base, so they'll bring people on, and et cetera, et cetera. And then they put me on. They give me my feature time and set, and I come on. I do 2-3 poems. They send me my little Cash App, and I move on with my day.
Oh, no, that's cute. I like that. So that's innovative. I was just saying that one of the reasons why I use this platform that I use is because of COVID. It's like COVID happening. It was safer not to be around people. It's like, but I still wanted to be around, interact. I didn't want to interact with people. So yeah, it's about doing things innovatively, about thinking outside the box and making shit happen no matter what. Putting your big girl pants on and finding a way and make it work. But what was your first performance? Let me say, started 5 years ago. Do you remember your first performance, or what was it like? Or if not, do you remember your most like memorable? Like, what is your most memorable?
I have a lot of cringy moments. I think those are sometimes I could be driving in the car and be like, oh my God, like my brain just
goes back.
And I'm like, why did you remember that? I think one of my most memorable moments that really like we are getting paid I've done 2 Black Pride events. I did one during COVID, and I did one in June.
Oh.
Well, Pride, that was just Pride. But my first ever Black Pride event for DC, I got invited because I'm just being on Instagram and networking and meeting people and being myself.
Yeah.
I got a gig, and it was just an experience to be able to say I could put on my list. I did a Pride event,
Right.
but or not, and I feel like that gave me a little bit more confidence to be like, don't quit, keep going. Whatever you have to do to learn. Whatever you have to do to take the time out to really push this through, that's what you need to do. How can we get there? What do we need to do? Do you need to move? Do you need to, like, that was the moment for me. Because then after that, a lot of stuff started taking off.
Well, that's great. Probably gave you the confidence to do it and the motivation. I mean, DC Pride, it sounds fun. Did you have fun?
I wish it could have been in person, but I mean, like I said, shit, I still had a good time online. Shoot.
I mean, things could always get personal, even if you're online. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
But have you mentioned Pride? Because I want to know, like, in regards to being like open, like being queer and being proud of who you are. Do you think that is something that you use, or like, how can I want to say? Do you write your poems from your perspective, from a queer Black man's perspective, more often than just a Black man's perspective?
So, one thing to me is a lot of the poets I listen to, they're very queer based because I just learned so much. And I think when you're at the intersectionality of being Black and queer and a male or a Black queer woman, like, you can learn so much from people in those spaces. So listening to these writers, writing from the multifaceted, I'm like, this is where you need to be at. And I think it allows me the room to connect with so many people. Because I've done a lot of, when I very started professionally, I was very like Black. I was very queer, like queer, honey, queer. And I made so many connections, but I was like, if I'm gonna be getting booked more, I need to also be able to connect to like straight people, etc. Or I have to write in a way where they can relate. And when I started writing like that, it's so weird when I do this sometimes, but I have people come up to me like, they tell you their life story about how they son or their cousin or whatever. And I'm just like, clearly I'm doing something right. So
right, yeah.
Right. So the more intersectionality, the more I try to connect with people, the more they like respect my story, understand it, and understand my perspective, and they're also able to resonate with that as well.
I think that's great. I think a lot of time people forget that. I think my focus in life is just being a good person. And I'll say that I don't know if you listen to my show, but I say that a lot just because I think that's more important than anything else, and it's more people can relate.
Right.
So just being like trying to do your best, like trying to make it, trying to just be you, fully you, no matter what that actually like means to you, and then also doing it in a way that doesn't hurt anyone, but also can benefit or have people feel close to you just by you being you.
Because my mentors make it very clear, like even in competition world, like regardless of what type of judge you have, a good poem or a good word is going to get scored good. So if you are able to bring it home and make everybody feel and understand you, then there's nothing to worry about.
And speaking of a good word, so again, our topic is going to be, be big girl pants on, and kind of bring that in. As I mentioned, he is a nationally ranked poet. He's going to give y'all a little something that can relate and resonate to that. I'm going to give you the spotlight. I'm going to go and just disappear for.
So weird. Okay. Medusa lives inside of my mouth, creates Greek mythology every time I speak. My tongue coils around vocabulary, leaves a lie inside of every syllable. My saliva is venom, infecting those that hear my words. My tongue makes sense, and sense all sound the same, makes conjoined twins out of the English language. In middle school, my mouth was more than an interruption. Disability sent to speech classes, tongue would tie around words instead of letting them breathe. If that class never loosened its grip. My peers would make fun of my lisp, call me Daffy Duck the way the anatomy will overwhelm the vocabulary, call me slow, call me lazy tongue, repeating words as if I was auditioning for a spelling bee. The older this tongue grew, the bigger the stereotype became. They say a man with a lisp keeps a rainbow underneath his tongue. To find out his sexuality, just have him say a word with an S or a Z in it. A speech impediment on sexuality identifier, as if they ain't never heard a woman with a lisp before. Straight into proven dickly. I find it funny that straight men hear a woman's tongue pronounce no and hear yes, hear my tongue. Say I'm hitting on him. Say he ain't comfortable with that gay shit, as if he hears what he wants to hear. As if I don't want to fuck with him anyway. Straight men. It's a queer business. As if they have a say in what this mouth do act. As if we ever ask them permission to be ourselves. We don't ask that they mind their damn business that they never do. Because straight men been standard, been acceptable in heterosexual cultures to heterosexual black men. They'll queer bodies into the fire. Use respectability politics to tell us to wait our turns, tell us that Lil Nas X's music is doing too much because his music will turn their children to stone. His music will give their child a lisp. Yeah, another Trina's videos snatch the lisp out of my mouth. This lisp enters the room before I do. Makes me self-conscious about how I speak around straight people. I deepen my voice. Because queer people have a condition to make everybody feel comfortable but us, me. Frustrated with saying this poem because all the S's, Z's, and TH's inside of it. And I tried to shut my list. But my mouth remains a snake charmer. And just like Medusa, I've seen men hunt and kill snakes all because God told them to. See men hurt and abuse and kill queer people for just existing. Homophobia has been more toxic than venom this mouth has ever produced, has burned, has singed. Yet people decided this mouth sucks dick the moment it couldn't say snake all because it has a lisp. And I think about all the queer black boys with a snake in their mouth and the rainbow underneath their tongue, surviving stereotypes. And I pray that their lisp turns these men to stone.
Yes. Yes. Life up. Don be giving life. That's what you should be putting at the bottom. Don gives life. Not life of Don. Don
I'm
gives
gonna change
life.
my mind. I'm gonna change my header.
Yes. Long as you give me quote, long as you give me, credit. Long as you give me credit. But yes. I would say I again the accent on top of the words you be saying. Like people say I got an accent, but that New York one.
I don't hear
Is that
it.
a Bronx? Is it a Bronx one? It's probably a Bronx. I've heard New York. I think yours is like Bronx.
I think people in New York City have said we all have our different.
I think y'all do. Talking to New Yorkers, y'all all have like different boroughs have different accents, and like I can tell when someone like is from New Jersey, from New York, and it's kind of crazy. You can kind of tell. You can tell. You can tell. Yeah. It's a little rougher too.
Right.
From the throat.
Very
From
strong.
the throat.
Very strong.
But yes, this topic is very dear to me and you, Don. Big girl pants. So I think it is so it's funny how like the way it's put like big girl pants on, but really just mean like growing up, being an adult. Things happen and we can't like let it just stop us from doing the things you want to do in life.
Right. I think I agree. I have had like last year moving down here was crazy, and not just in the essence of moving, just my surroundings and everything. And there were so many moments where even a lot of my close friends, they were like, this is stressing you out. Life is stressing you out. Do you want to go home? Do you need what do you need to do to switch, like drastically get you out of this place? And I always had to tell myself like, we almost there. Whatever you gotta do, put the pants on, girl. Get up, hustle. I know you're tired. Like, you have to motivate yourself because ain't nobody can motivate yourself like you.
No one can. No one can. Like you can fake it for so long. Someone can give you motivation for so long, but you can't hold that because the second that person leaves or they can't be there, then you won't do it. And that just proves the point that you have it all the way. You got to have yourself first. Like, which is why it's important to people to, in relationships, date yourself first. So you know exactly how you want someone to treat you, and then of course with your job, um, sometimes you got to put your big girl pants on at work. I think that's the most hard. I think it's the hardest thing for us as adults to put our big girl pants on at work.
Because some people will play you at. I mean, not this job, but my
Your job.
old job. Child on white people. Period. That's it. Because they will
Nah,
try you.
nah, no. My job is definitely tried me. They tried to play with my money one time, and I had to be like, I play about a lot of things. I'm a joke person,
Don't play
but
about money.
I need my money.
Hello?
I
Hello?
don't play about money. I don't play about money.
You
So
can't. Not with no bills.
not with no bills, because when I don't have a house, y'all not gonna y'all gonna sue us for me to come to work.
Right.
So yeah, but I think it's also about maturity. I think I realized a lot that even though I'm a certain age, I still have a long way to go. God ain't done with me. I'm not done with me. There are things I still have to work on. But when it comes to trying to get my own shit together in regards to motivating myself to do things, I think I've reached that point of realizing that it's a more of, if I want it, why can't I do it for myself?
Right. Right. I agree. I know so many people, and I'm sure you know people and people watching this. We all know people like, I don't want to just say jealous of your progress, but so many people that are like, they're like, I want to people. Like, I want to do that,
Mm,
or I have this idea, and it's just like they get so jealous of you pushing forward and doing your stuff, and they're like, I want to people, like they want to, but they don't have the motivation, or they mentally feel like they don't have the motivation to get there. So I think you really have to. I always try to see my life as like you said, I'm always growing. So it's like
yeah,
I'm nowhere close to the end. Like the end is when I'm dead. Like if I know people 90 years old, they be fit as hell, lifting
they
dumbbells,
really do.
running
Be like, I'm
track.
trying to live forever.
Like so like if the ending is death, like everybody says you have plenty of time, but like you have to start somewhere. Everything's not gonna look pretty when you first do it. Everything's not gonna sound good or whatever. But if you don't start, then it's never gonna be there. And you
Right.
go
No, it's not going to be comfortable. That's also the
right,
thing. It's about comfortable. People get so
right,
comfortable. I have friends that are like that are younger, and yeah, I'm not that old. I'm under 30, but I always tell my younger friends like, you have time, but
right,
you have to do it now.
right,
Like if you want to do it, you have to do it now. You have time because I have time, but you have to do it now because
right.
um my first episode, we were talking about spectators. I said I don't like spectators, and that's what I meant. People that just watch and never actually get up and do it, but say they want to do it, or they get inspired by watching it, but never actually take it into consideration, or take it serious and what they can do.
Right,
And I'm not perfect. I have things that I have said I want to do as well, but it's all about timing
right,
and working up to those things, which is about putting your pants. I mean, putting your pants on not the first. When you're a kid, you don't know how to put clothes on. It's baby steps to
right,
putting your big girl pants on.
right,
Maybe you got to start with your little girl. Maybe you got to start with a little
right.
pull up.
Take your time, but you can't just like be so scared. I think that's what I think as humans we're afraid of failing and we're afraid of
Oh yeah.
criticism. So I think for me, being a poet or like starting to like social media manage people, like one thing about me, I've always said you could tell me like this is garbage, I need you to go back and fix it. I take criticism very well. So I think for me, I've never been afraid to do stuff because the comments are going to comment on how they move or people are going to say what they want. But I think for people that are afraid of failure, you don't think about the failure part. You have to think about just going because
Yeah.
people have one idea and then it fails and then they realize I like parts of this, I didn't like that part. So then they find it's a journey and you have to be prepared to go on that journey with your idea.
Oh no, it is about a journey. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
And people are definitely afraid of failure. I think everyone is a fear, like has a fear of failure. We have a fear of not being successful or not being happy at the end of the day. And then we don't do the things that might make us happy. And a lot of people sit
Right.
in that unhappiness, which turns into bitterness.
Right.
Um, and it turns, we all know that auntie or that uncle that Swear, but now they were gonna be this something, be that, and complain about it all the time. No, you don't want to be that person. You have to put your big girl and do the things that are uncomfortable and difficult and new and challenging. And it's all about like you. You said you moved to here, or you moved from New York to Dallas. Did you know anyone when you moved here?
I'm a radicalist. Like I said, I'm chaotic. I really am. Like I knew, and let me be very clear. The definition of new
it's like right?
new. I knew people. I didn't know.
No.
Like, hey, girl, I'm coming. Like I knew. Like I knew Dallas Poetry Slam people and Crush from online and stuff. I knew those people, but I didn't like have a relationship or like, hey, girl, I need $10. Like it was very much like, hey, I saw your work. So for me to move down here, not knowing shit really besides my roommate, that was it. So, and I think about it, I'm like, you are crazy. Like, and I think sometimes that chaoticness is really what gets me places. Because it's just like, I'm jump off the cliff. The parachute will hopefully work. The water is water. You'll swim. Just don't hit no rocks. You'll scrape a knee. Like, because you just have to go.
Yeah. No, you do just have to go. And I know it is definitely, it's scary and challenging. And it's like, I moved here, and luckily I had family when I moved here. So it wasn't like I was starting off from scratch. I had family, I had a bunch of family, and I was able to sleep on family's couch for a few months until I got on my feet. So it wasn't like I didn't have anybody. I don't know if I could. Now that's brave, Dawn. That's really brave. That is the biggest definition of putting your big girl pressure. You know what? I need to get out of this place. I'm just gonna move here, and it's gonna work because it has to work. Because I want it to work.
It has to.
It has to work.
It has to work. Because you can't. Because my mindset is like, I didn't want to live in New York. It's expensive as fuck. I was like, there's nothing here for me. Like there's family, and but there's no opportunities. COVID is still going. Well, COVID was like ending really much, and Dallas was fucking blown up open. So I'm like, all this, child, y'all was open. All y'all said would have a mask on, and that's
I think we closed for like a month, maybe 2 or 3 months.
I believe it. So I'm like, all these signs, it's like, I feel like if there's nothing keeping you somewhere, and this can put you on anything, a job, relationship, whatever.
Yeah.
If there's nothing keeping you or sustaining you and make you be like, I feel alive, then that is a sign that you need to go. And it's not going to be easy, because I don't think the gods and ancestors give us anything that's easy. I think they give us things that we can manage personally, and your journey is going to be manageable, but it's learning how to manage it every step of the way. Because the higher the success you go, or the higher your purpose you go, the harder things around it may be, but you learn how to manage it.
Oh no, that's correct. I think that's right. I mean, I think if it isn't benefiting you, no matter how difficult it is to let it go, once you shake it off, it's going to feel like a weight is lifted. And even if you're like not all the way sure about what you're going to do next, at least you know what you're not going to do no more. That's also a thing. I like to realize, like, sometimes situation will let you know what you're not going to do no more.
Hello.
It may not take you where you want to go next, but at least you better than where the fuck you was at.
Because your mental health is important. Don't ever.
It's important. Yes. Mental health is definitely, and I'm happy that I think the Black community is getting better with realizing that, like, feeling crazy and being crazy you don't have to actually be these things. You can actually go get help, and you can be completely normal. You can blend in. You can feel happy and not have to worry about being depressed or anxious or all the things that we go through in our adult life that these kids was definitely talked about differently. I would say.
I would surely say, for sure.
Like, I don't know how New Yorkers deal with people. Like, I don't know. I think like everyone deals with those family members that we all know of a little bit differently. But
just like that person, a little touch. That's what you said.
Thank you. And it's like that. And realize, like, as a kid, people like, oh, that little touch or that. or they're a little crazy, or it's little sly comments that adults made. I realize, and like as an adult now, it's like that wasn't okay.
Right.
I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be I don't want to be helpless. I want to be able to be a law-abiding citizen.
Hello.
Most of the time. Most of the time. But a little bit more about you now and your poetry. When you write, is there a particular like genre that you like go to the most in regards to your writing style?
So my future goal, and this is like I don't even know how many years later, but I want to really, really be a songwriter. That is like my end goal. So a lot of my muse right now in life is straight up R&B. If you're in Dallas and you've seen me perform with bands, or in
Mhm.
New York where I do live shows or curated my own shows where like everything sounds like how it's supposed to sound. Not saying not shade, but I'm a Virgo, so I'm very like
In tune.
right. But I perform with a lot of great bands. So if anybody in the band hears this, I love you. So R&B is my influence, and I think the poetry I want to continue to create is I want people to be able to be in a car and Summer Walker comes on, Don comes on, and then Jasmine Sullivan comes on, and it's no skips in between. Like, because that's the
Mm.
vibe you're going for. And I don't want it to be like Maya Angelou's reading her book, or like somebody reading their book, and you're just like, I really have to be in the mood to hear this. I want it to be like, I want it to be the mood. Like,
Yeah.
I want people to look towards me for that vibe.
Oh no, I understand. I enjoy writing as well.
Oh,
I can't sing. I can't hold. I can hold a note. Take it back. I can hold a note. I had a singer tell me I can hold a note.
okay, hold it
Um,
out.
but I can't I can't sing. But yeah, I enjoy writing. I think it's an outlet. I did when I was in high school. I did poetry for a little while, and I realized I didn't like poetry. I like writing songs. So
Right.
it transformed into writing music. So I completely understand, and I love R&B. I used to say R&B is dead, but I'm taking it back because after everybody started saying it, a lot of the R&B artists started like dropping stuff on purpose, like oh it's dead. Let me drop this. Let me drop this.
I do agree.
So
I can
I
agree with
have
that. I can
so
agree with
now,
that.
yeah. So now R&B is trying to come back. So I won't say R&B is dead anymore. It's coming back to life. But yeah, I think it's great. I think you'll be a great writer.
You.
And
Right.
do you sing? Can you sing? Or you made a face
See,
too?
I, I feel like
You made a face like I be making.
if God gave me the gift of the voice, I would sing my ABCs. I would sing everything. Like
I feel you.
I wish I try. People be like, "Shut up, you can't." I really do wish I could. I really do wish, but
Oh no, when I tell you, if no, I always say, if God gave me lighter color eyes and a good singer voice, I'll be a hoe.
I'm making money. I'm out
Nothing, no,
here.
I'll be a hoe. Nothing will stop me. Nothing will stop me.
We had two different points of view.
I just look at her to sing real quick.
We had two different visions.
Yeah, but no, but money is nice too. I could probably I'll probably be rich too. I'm probably rich too. Yeah, a bunch of money. But okay, well, see, it's something I didn't know about you. I always and so with writing and wanting to do music, do you have like certain like poets or certain songwriters that inspire you?
So poets have done albums, um, but the ones I have listened to, they don't really like. They don't give no skips. Like, because in my head, like I said, like I'm trying to. I don't think I'll ever be on the radio. Like I don't. I think that's like very far fetched for a poet sometimes. Unless it's like a poetry
Mm,
based radio or like a radio
right.
station that's like you got somehow to play your shit. But like I think in somebody's car, my aim is to be like I said, like Erica Badu, Don, Summer Walker,
Mm,
Jasmine, whatever, whatever. And I know a poet named Nathan Wallace. If y'all don't know him, get into him. It is Nathan Wallace on Instagram. Just put that
mm,
name. That album is no motherfucking skips. It
mm,
is a vibe. It's lyrically great. The music in the background is great. The bars are great. So it's like for me, he has set the bar so high, and it's amazing that he's my friend. But he has set the bar so high that for me, when I drop whatever I create, eventually when I start, I really want to aim towards that because it's sonically and I have great taste. So
No, you supposed to plug your friends. I'm gonna let you plug his Instagram one more time.
so let me run on. But if you just look on his like if you just type his name in, I don't know how many black people named Nathan Wallace, but
Don't do him like that, Nathan.
I don't know how. I truly do not know how
Look for
many
the
black
one
people.
black man named Nathan Wallace.
Clearly
And I
him.
promise you,
His name is literally on Instagram, Mr. Nathan Nathan Wallace Wallace, and you'll find him. You can find him on
okay, he
YouTube.
performs here, right?
No, he's in Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay.
But I think I'll try to get him out here for like the stuff I do because he is phenomenal.
And he better you been plugging him and stuff. He better
Because for me, it's just like if I listen to so much like R&B and poetry stuff, like if it's good, I have to talk about it.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, we can move on.
It can.
It's it.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. I have heard like a lot of good music recently. That's also put me in a really good mood. Music has that effect on me. I hear a really good like album, a song, it'll put me in a good mood. No, if I'm talking make me upset, I have to put the song on. Do you have like a certain like poem that you kind of go to if you like feeling down or you need that like pick me up? If you need to put your big girl pants on, a certain poem you may listen to or play or watch?
So, poem wise, yes. Her name is Portia O. Portia Porshao. Find her on YouTube. She has this poem called Water. It's not like music or anything. It's just like straight slam. And she's talking about how black people and like water. She breaks down like just everything we have to do with it and like the racism, slave trade, all of it. And it is like, I wish I wrote it. Like, I wish on my life. Like, I know it by heart. It is so, so good. I go to it every time.
Like, give us your favorite line from it. You know, Bart. Give me something that resonates with you from the poem.
She has. Ooh, don't do this to me. You know when people be like, I know the lyrics, they don't really know. She has a line.
No, it takes a minute to go back through it because you know it when you're watching it, but you know, off the dome it's hard.
So I can't give a bar, but it's a line where she's talking about how white people. She's explaining how white people didn't want black people. You know, they don't want black people to swim because if you could swim, you could swim. Right. Yeah. So she's talking about how they used to use us as gator bait, and then she breaks down what gator bait is. It is like, it's so good.
I don't know. I actually, as you know, I met you on the poetry scene. I love poetry, open mic. I'm a lover of the arts. I think anything beautiful should be seen by my eyes. You know, the world, you know, people expression of things, and of course, I love when you all make, you all do poems about, you know, queer struggle or the Black struggle because it is so important and it is we still struggle today. Like it hasn't stopped. That's one thing is our struggle has not stopped. And when it comes to that, do you have like we've come a long way. Let's also resonate on how far we have come, even though we have a lot to go. Is there anyone you being from New York, anyone in the Black queer community there that inspired you, or you are inspired by it currently?
So, ironically, I this was before like I knew Portia O. She used to be a New York City poet. Crystal Valentine, her girlfriend. I'm plugging a lot of people. She's Bronx, born and raised, Lisp. So there's a lot of like similarities in our like upbringing and like our identities. So Crystal Valentine, I think, is like the poet when I was trying to find like where my voice wanted to be that I most resonated with, because she's great. I don't know what else to say. I think Crystal Valentine, Jasmine Mans too. She has a book, Oprah book, bestseller. If you haven't seen it, I think it's Black Girls Call Home. Curly hair book, very famous, top 10. It teaches Black. It's supposed to be like a self-help Black girl poetry book. It breaks down so much, and she's queer as well, and she's also phenomenal. She's performed with Janelle Monáe, opened up for Janelle Monáe. She's been up and down and around the way, making Queen status. So those two are like, I would say that for me.
Oh, that's good. See, I don't know. In my mind, again, I have a lot of like, I'm gonna say, growing up in Mississippi, I realized a lot of my viewpoints are biased or small-minded, without even realizing it. Because in my mind, growing up in Mississippi, in regards to like seeing gay people, are like there being a gay scene, there wasn't. Like, you know, we of course there's some of us there, but in regards to like having a scene,
Right.
having like places we could go, there wasn't a lot. So in my mind, anytime I meet someone gay from New York, I automatically like you've been on the scene and you went and you've heard of a house.
It is so
did all of this.
because I didn't like by the time like I was like I moved, so it was like
so before you moved.
I was but I was always like doing school or there was always something going on where I couldn't like fully go out into the scene and do all that stuff like I really wanted to do. Now don't get me wrong, I was still on bended knee if you catch my drift.
You know what I mean?
But it's still out and proud, but it's like the events stuff I wanted to be at outside of just walking on a fucking pride parade is like I wasn't able to do. So every time I go back to the city, I try to gate up as much as possible. Like,
I wanna go to a ballroom so bad.
Girl, I can give you the place to go.
I wanna go to a ballroom so bad. But then I have to get back to New York. I haven't been in New York since I was like a kid. Now literally I have not been to New York in my adult life. But next year, like this year, I decided to make it the year of the concert. I literally been to like a concert each month. I missed the month of July, but every month this year, starting from like November, I've been going to a concert. And next year, I want to start the year traveling. So every month, I want to go like a small trip or a big trip. And New York is on my list because I really want to go back and experience it as an adult. To see is it as shitty as I remember? I'm not gonna lie, I had a bad experience when I went to New York.
Oh, you probably did. I believe it. We're terrible.
I was a kid and y'all were rude. I'm like, y'all are so rude. Like this is like no excuse me.
I believe it. We are interesting. Like if you're and I gotta say if you're born and raised, because you know people move there.
Oh yeah.
But we are like if you're born and raised, we really like you just get so used to shit like when you come, you're not used to like being rude. Like to us that's not rude. Like, girl, you push me. Like, she look at you like, okay, you want to fight?
Like, no, it's like I really didn't push you, but I can't
right,
push
and then you move on with your day. Like, somebody says, hi, how are you? You're like, you're looking at you like, why are you
speaking to me? Yeah.
Very.
Very like to the point. Like at my job, I talk to New Yorkers, and I'm at the point where I know I'm like, we're gonna get to the point. I don't want to chit chat with you, but you don't want to chit chat with me. We're gonna get to the point. Cause it's like y'all don't want to have any conversation. Y'all don't want to have no conversation.
Hello.
And you know, and I remember the subway when I went. The last thing that like is my like most vivid memory of New York was going to Chinatown, and we ended up getting like a big ass pizza, but it was square.
Really?
And I know that's weird. I was like 10. I was like, this the only things I remember was Subway, people being rude, and Chinatown or either China or Asia. It
probably Chinatown.
Probably was Chinatown. And we went to a pizza place and it was square. Like we opened the box and the pizza was square. We were like, okay. Pizza, it was pizza. It was like
it's so interesting because I went to school in Chinatown and it's an interesting place.
I know my whole trip in New York was enter. I don't want to go back as an adult, but I'll ask you for all the good places to
And I'll
go
get
to and the bad places to avoid.
like,
Because I think that's a disclaimer people don't give about like when people go visit, like you shouldn't go here. I think people just
because
see all the
everybody's
fun.
a tourist until you get snatched. No mean
You're a
no.
tourist until you get robbed. You're a
Huh?
tourist until yeah. I don't want any of those things to happen to me. No, someone told me I had a New Yorker tell me not to go to the ball drop because a lot of tourists get robbed at the ball drop.
Oh, they probably do get pickpocketed. That would make sense.
She
Yeah.
said like we get pickpocketed. I was like, okay, so if I go, I'm
You
not
don't
gonna go.
know. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there. Okay. But Don, I do want to thank you for being here. And since we're talking about plugging people, you gotta plug yourself. Because you matter.
I do.
And I do have your IG right here, but you stay busy. So tell everybody where they can come and watch you, see you, be a part, experience Life of Don.
I'm too busy. I'm too busy. You can follow me at life.don. It's right about if you're watching this, so you can follow me. If you're listening, it's LIFEOF.DON. I run an open mic. I've been given this opportunity to run an open mic. So it's called Floetic Experience. You don't have to know how to spell it. Just come to my bio and you can find it. So if you're in Dallas or you're a Dallas artist trying to look for a space to perform, you can pull up. And I have an album coming out, EP, coming out next year, so you can look forward to that. And I'm always doing something. I love to connect, communicate, and talk more.
Well, I say yes. Don is very nice and sweet people. So
Right.
even though he does give you a New Yorker face, Don is. I don't want to say Richard Bitch face. I'm gonna say New Yorker face.
I do.
Don is actually a really sweetheart. So you see him standing there, he looks mean, he's still sweet. He will not bite unless you like it. Maybe. I don't know. Don will tell you. But no, it's definitely an honor. It's always a pleasure. I always enjoy. And I heard an EP, so I make everyone promise to come back.
I will come back. Yes. Come on. Yes, I will definitely come back when it's
okay. Yeah, and I always make everybody say it on camera because you can't deny footage. So you can't say you didn't say it. You didn't say I didn't say I was gonna come back when I got $1 million. This you did.
That's good. You're right.
Yeah.
You got me. I'll
come in. Okay. Come in. But until then, everybody follow Don, Life of Don. If you need his Instagram, go to my page. You already know what it is. You can go to my page on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. His information will be there. Next week we have the lovely songstress Gina J coming to the show.
Love Gina.
Yes. Gina's gonna bring the house down, y'all. Y'all gonna really enjoy getting a little bit to know more about her and her background. And I want to thank everybody here for watching. It's been another great episode. Man, Don, thank you for coming. I definitely appreciate it. Let me get to know you a little bit better. And everyone listening and watching as well. But until next week, everybody, it's been great. Peace.